So, you want to start working on your car, do you? Well, any great journey starts with that first step, and a good first step is learning how to change your oil regularly to keep the engine healthy. Once you've gathered all the necessary parts, one might cower in fear, but I'm here to tell you it's much easier to do than you think. Don't worry, we'll figure this out. Let's lay it all out and take it step by step. Here's what we'll need. Let's start with the whole reason why we're doing this. The oil, of course. Do a bit of Google Foo and you'll learn exactly what kind and amount you'll need. You'll also find out what size oil filter your car requires and get a nice oil drain pan to catch all the dirty old oil. Here's a pro tip. Do not buy this oil.
It's overflowing.
You'll also need Gorilla Grip to get the old oil filter off. Or you can spend the extra $5 and get an oil filter wrench, a funnel.
Dollar store, boy!
The 86 FRS BRZ oil drain plug takes a 14mm wrench. Torque wrench. Applying proper torque where needed will ensure parts are properly connected and no bogus pressure is put anywhere. Get the proper sized crush washer for your oil drain plug to ensure a snug fit. And looky here, our first official mod. A custom oil drain plug with a super strong magnet. Oh, and of course, let's try and keep clean with some gloves, paper towels, shop rags, or even some old t-shirts to help keep our shop clean. And we'll be putting the car up nice and high. Well, at least half of it anyway, so make sure you've got at least 2 jack stands, wheel chocks, and a nice, sturdy, hefty jack. This'll do a much better job than you at lifting that beast of a machine. And here's proof. So this is pretty much it. The first time gathering all this will be quite an investment, but once you have it in your possession, you'll be saving hundreds every year on future oil changes. If your car is too cold, take it out for a couple spins around the block to warm up the engine. It's just warm enough to get the oil thinned out a bit. This will ensure the draining process goes nice and smooth. For the 86 BRZ and FRS, we'll need about 5.8 quarts of 0W20 fully synthetic motor oil. And if you're using Mobile One, the M1-104A oil filter. Other cars will need different oils and filters. Just do some Google Foo, that's what I always say. And going under a car is quite dark, so don't forget to bring a flashlight to illuminate your path, young one. To properly jack up the car safely, ensure you're in park, the car is off, and not gonna roll back when half of it is hovering. Depending on how low your car is, you might need ramps or some spare wood planks to lift it high enough to get the jack under it. Before using the jack, find the pinch welds. This is the area under the side of the car where it's structurally sound enough to rest on jack stands, and bring those stands close enough to slide under it when the jack is doing its job. I use a small brick of wood to disperse the jack's pressure out a bit and prevent damage to the underside of the car, as well as add an extra inch or so of lift, since my jack is pretty small and puny. Align the jack to the front lift point. It's a foot-long bar of metal that may be color matched to your car's paint, about 2 feet or so back from the front bumper. If this is your first time lifting the car, take your time and double check, triple check every step before, during, and after execution. If you're only using the front 2 jack stands, add an extra point of security by locking the jack into place. This creates a tri-point lift, making it safer, sturdier, and a little easier on the mind getting under your car. You can even slide a spare wheel under there for extra safety. Whenever I get under the car, I like to throw a cheap mover's blanket under me to keep my clothes fresh and, keep the floor a little bit cleaner. As you're about to find out, this can get very, very messy. Pop the hood. Make sure your engine bay is open and your work area is as clear and clean as your hands are going to be under those slick gloves. Locate and remove the oil filler cap and keep it in a safe location. This is where the real magic happens. And this is where the real magic poops right out and goes all over the place. Right in front of the driver's side, you'll find the oil drain plug. On other cars, just find your oil pan under the engine and look beneath it to the side. And on every drain catch pan, there is a breathing hole plug. Make sure that is open, where the air can escape from the drain pan and oil can enter. It's a nice, easy, even exchange. And yes, of course, I opened my plug, so just keep that in mind before you see what's about to happen. Slide your oil catch pan in a spot that's pretty much below where the drain plug trajectory would land, and envision a splash zone. You kind of see the theme that we're setting here? The plug might shoot out like a cannonball, so picture a mess. Oh, buddy. Using the wrench, 14mm on the 8.6, unscrew the plug. You might find previous mechanics might have over-torqued it a bit. That's understandable. Get a mallet to gently knock it free, and just prepare yourself for chaos. And it was right here I had realized my mistake. Remember when I said do not purchase this oil drain pan under any circumstance? Ugh. Yeah, that's why.
Terrible.
Good thing I had those extra t-shirts handy.
It's overflowing.
Oh, and yeah, that's gonna stain. Oh well, new video idea. Content churning out weekly here on the Jet Falco channel. We'll get that stain out next time, I'm sure. Normally people take this time to change filters, but as you can see, I was focused on containing the oil monster's resurgence. Now I gotta deal with this mess. Before recapping the drain hole with a clean plug and a new crush washer, wipe the area free of any oil and debris. Now let's talk about this new mod. The Greddy Neodymium Mag Drain replaces the old drain plug and crush washer with a new super powerful magnet that will attract loose metal shavings that might float around the engine. It even comes with its own washer. Many cars' engine oil will be fraught with metal shavings and contaminants that may affect how the car runs in the future. Oh, look at how powerful this thing is. This catches many of the stray metals and will prolong the life of the engine from within, especially for those of us who love a spirited drive through the canyons and some high revs. After cleaning your own drain plug, re-lube the inner rings with fresh oil and get it in there. Oh, look at that. It's so strong, it's already sticking. Let's try that again. There. Screw the oil drain plug and crush washer back in snug and give it a quick tighten with the wrench before transferring to the torque wrench. The 8.6 itself requires about 28.9 foot-pounds of torque. Too loose and you'll possibly leak oil. Too tight and you might damage the plug from within and make your next oil change a disaster. Ooh, yeah, again. If you work on cars, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, wow, there it is. I didn't damage it too much, eh, boys? My first logo emblazoned mod on a trail of many more to come. She may be small and simple, but she's a beaut and she's mine. Moving above the car, it's time to change the oil filter. Filters are incredibly hard to remove by hand, so we've got these nice handy specialized wrenches to do all the tough work for us. This handle flips up when there's not a lot of clearance, making it easy to remove the old filter and prepare it for recycling. And here's the new one. Ooh, this black filter would match a lot better with the rest of the engine bay and look a lot nicer than that random blue one. Wipe down the mating surface of the filter clean before affixing the new one. Smoothly wipe a nice small film of fresh oil around the rubber gasket of the filter to ensure a leak-free contact with a tight seal. Screw it into place and hand tighten until it can no longer move. This is where the wrench comes back in handy with the handle flipping over to the other side for tightening. Definitely worth that $5. Gently set your funnel in the oil fill hole, port, receptacle thing. So here's an easy oil filling tip. Fill with the bottle on its side. This allows for optimal visibility and better control. First instinct might be to use the hole as a spout on either the top or bottom, but this will actually prevent air from entering the bottle evenly, making it spill out uncontrollably. When it's sideways, you can get an even amount of air in there to allow a steady flow. Just pour slowly.
Your car's not a frat boy chugging light beer, boys.
It's a fancy lady sipping wine at a wedding.
Savor it. Just sip and savor it. There's air in the funnel as well, so try pouring slowly to the side of the hole. Just going headstrong and full force dumping it straight into the middle will make the air want to escape faster, creating air bubbles in the oil. Come on, just sip and savor, boys. Sip and savor. The 8.6 takes about 5.8 quarts of 0W20 oil, so after filling up on the 5 quart, take your time with the extra bottle, stopping to check the oil level every so often. I start with just under half of the bottle and take baby steps from there. The car's dipstick usually has a few holes to indicate where you want to aim, so you want to aim somewhere between the two dots that indicate proper oil level. Once you've filled it up, put the cap back on and pump the jack back upwards to give the jack stand's clearance to be removed. Then carefully release the jack stand lock. This part always kind of freaks me out. It's weirdly satisfying though. Anyways, give it another once through, a double check, even a triple check if you need. Check for leaks and examine your area, make sure it's nice and clear, and when you're ready, take it out for a drive. And on that drive, bring your old oil, filters, rags, and any hazardous material to the proper recycling centers like a local parts store. If you've got an 8.6, check your oil level after your ride has cooled and add any extra fresh oil you might need. If you drive any other car, all of the steps are basically the same, but the oil type, filter, and plug fitment, and any other specs are all online. You just gotta know what to search. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and support the channel, and let me know if you want to see more car videos. I really appreciate y'all watching, and I will see you next time.